Okay guys, welcome back to class. Today we are going to be examining or exploring similes and metaphors. So I made this photo, a Photoshop picture of my animals, and it represents a pretty commonly used phrase. Can anybody guess what this phrase is? Dad?
Pets.
It's raining cats.
And dogs.
It's raining cats and dogs, that's right. So do you guys think that would be a...
The rain, I see.
Do you guys think that would be a simile or a metaphor?
But that doesn't look like rain.
Is it a simile or a metaphor?
It's raining cats and dogs. Do you think that would be a simile or a metaphor?
Simile.
Why do you think that?
Because metaphor describes a verb, I think.
So
that
I'm
would
going
be
to go
an adverb.
Adverb. And
it's a metaphor because it's not using like or as to compare.
But a metaphor is like describing an adverb.
So this is good because we're actually going to review what metaphors and similes are. Mom is right, it is a metaphor, and we're going to find out why.
Can we start over?
Nope. Hi, Dr. Norton. Okay, so first, what is a simile? A simile is a comparison of two different things using the terms like or as. Whereas a metaphor is a phrase that is used to describe something as if it were something else. So it's raining cats and dogs would be a metaphor because it does not use like or as, and it's describing the rain as if it were
something else.
Something else. All right?
Can we start over?
No.
Because I don't want to look stupid in front of your professor.
Stop.
No, you don't look stupid at all.
It's honesty. Just stop. Just go. Just
No,
roll.
it works well for me because that means I'm actually going to help teach you.
Yes. Come on.
Okay,
just roll with it.
All right, so at this point, I want to know how you guys feel about similes and metaphors because we just reviewed what they were. So we're going to do a thumbs up if you feel super comfortable with them, thumbs in the middle if you like kind of get it, but like you still have a little bit of learning to do, and a thumbs down if you just don't understand what similes and metaphors are at all.
Middle.
Middle? Okay, that's awesome because we're... Middle is good because we're going to work to make them a thumbs up for sure. Okay, so I've got a couple different phrases that I'm going to put up on the PowerPoint, and I want you guys to turn to your elbow partners, so it'll be you and Mom.
Doesn't metaphor describe like an action, a place?
We will go through that after the lesson. Okay, so you're going to turn to your elbow partner. I'm going to put a phrase up on the PowerPoint, and you are going to tell me if it's a simile, or you're going to discuss with your partner, and then you're going to tell me if you think it's a simile or a metaphor, and then we're going to try to figure out what the actual meaning of the phrase is. So the first phrase is, I am up to my ears in homework. Do you think that's going to be a simile or a metaphor?
Is it using the words like or as?
No.
So it must be
a metaphor.
A metaphor.
All right, and what do you guys think that it means? Like, what is the author trying to say?
I'm up to my ears in homework?
Mm-hmm. What does that mean? It means you're physically up to your ears with homework?
No, it does not.
Okay, so what does it mean?
I think it's just an expression of speech, a term that you use to, describe how you feel when, how much homework you have.
How much homework you have. There you go.
Yeah, we'll take that. So it doesn't mean that my homework papers are stacked up as high as my ears, but it does mean that I have a lot of homework to complete.
High five.
Good job, guys. All right, the second one is, we are like two peas in a pod. Vince, do we think it's a simile or a metaphor?
Metaphor.
Is it using the word like or as?
Oh, yeah.
Then
it's a simile.
Sorry.
It's a simile. Okay, and what do we think that it means? Dad?
That were similar in nature, or
yeah.
Two people were being kind of like have the same qualities or characteristics or personalities or whatever.
Yeah, very similar in nature. That's really good. So it doesn't mean
but
that
it's
we're
also
vegetables.
expression of speech, though.
It is. So metaphors and similes are figurative language, and they're kind of used to like spice up your speech and your text, your writing. So you're very much correct. It means that we are the same or we are similar. So the next one says, I'm as busy as a bee. Simile or metaphor?
Metaphor.
Is it using the... So it is
simile.
You're right. It's a simile. You're going to get the hang of it. Don't worry. And what do you think it means? What is the author trying to say?
Well, that they're busy because bees are very active and they're always working, and they're working insects, so he's describing himself as a bee, like a bee.
So being very active?
Very active and a hard worker. And
All right.
Yeah, that's really good. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing the same amount of work as a bee. It's not like you're not an actual bee, but you are very busy.
Yep.
And the last one says, this classroom is a zoo. Simile or metaphor?
Metaphor.
Good job. High five.
What do you think it means?
Charlene.
Mama?
It means there's a lot going on, chaotic.
Yeah, exactly. So it does not mean that there are like the students are zoo animals, that you're like in the Austin Zoo or anything, but it does mean that there's a lot of chaos going on in the classroom. So up next, I have a little poem.
You've already seen these answers, huh?
I did run through practice with Mom, but
That's why she. I don't think there's no way she would have used the word chaos.
all right. Do I need to turn down the lights? Do I need to turn down the lights? Flick the lights on and off. Okay, guys. So next, I have a little poem that I found online. I cited my source, and I want you guys to read through the poem together with your little elbow partner. So it's you and Mom, and I want you guys to figure out if there are any similes, any metaphors, and what the author is trying to express. The poem is called "The Garden." And it says, in spring, the garden wakes from its long-lasting sleep. In summer, all the veggies come with their colors so deep. In fall, the garden is a great leaf-covered floor. In winter, like a bed of snow that will awake no more. So you guys can read through it, talk about it together, maybe come up with a couple similes, a couple metaphors that we can share with the larger group of meanings.
I don't see the word as, but I do see the word like.
Yeah, I see the word like as well. So I see a simile.
So in winter, like a bed of snow.
Well, the great leaf is covered floor in winter like a bed of snow. So it's describing the leaf.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's
The
not.
winter.
No, because that's a semicolon.
Oh.
In winter, comma, like a bed of snow.
that will wake no more.
So I think like a bed of snow is going to be your simile, right?
Yeah.
But then it says,
But-
will wake no
But
more.
what is it describing though? A bed of snow is describing something.
Is it describing the garden when it's covered with snow?
Yes.
It's like a bed
It's
of
describing the garden. So the garden. Yeah, that's the simile, or that could also be a metaphor.
Not when it's using the word like. I think the metaphor comes in and it says when it will
Awake
awake
no
no
more.
more. What will awake no more? The winter, right?
Or the garden, like in spring, the garden wakes.
Yeah.
Gardens don't actually wake up. That would be a metaphor.
I don't like your poem.
Okay, thank you for your input. I will take that into consideration.
Not a good choice.
Thank you very much, Mom.
Just saying.
Okay, and so that was good work, guys. So at the end of this lesson, which we just completed, I want to have you guys write out one example of a simile and one example of a metaphor, along with what their meanings are. They can be an original simile and original metaphor, or like ones that you've learned. And yeah, I'm just gonna end it there because I forgot to get paper for you. But we can just share it out loud with the class. How about we do that? Dad, do you have an example of a simile or a metaphor?
The sun was as bright as.
Life is like a box of chocolate. You'll never know what you're going to get.
Okay, that's really good.
That is a simile.
That is true.
Doesn't
It is
use
a
the
simile.
word like.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's really good. And what do you think that Forrest Gump was trying to say? What do you think Forrest Gump was trying to say when he said life is like a box of
Well, the
chocolates?
box of chocolates describes a different assortment of flavors and different types of chocolates, and it's like describing life. You'll never know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're really looking at when you open up a box of chocolate unless you have a listing of it. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you. Mom?
Metaphor.
Oh no, I get stuck with a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do metaphor. It could be one you learned today.
Yeah, I can't think of one. I'm tired.
Okay. How about
A pass.
a pass? You're going to plead the fifth.
Mm-hmm.
How about Toby's nose is a button? Toby's nose is a button.
Toby is as cute as a button.
Well,
No,
that would be a
that's
simile.
No, that's a simile.
Okay, anyway, so that would be that. Thank you guys for coming to Lessons by Tori. I appreciate the input. Bye, Dr. Norton. Have a good spring break.